The holographic display flickered to life in the center of the Galactic Council chamber, casting an eerie blue glow across the assembled delegates. Representative Zaxthul of the hegemony straightened his chitinous frame, his compound eyes reflecting satisfaction as he watched the voting tally materialize. "The motion carries," announced High Chancellor Vexara, her crystalline voice echoing through the vast chamber. "By a vote of 847 to 23, the Galactic Council authorizes military action against the Terran Federation for violations of trade sanctions and territorial expansion." A ripple of approval swept through the alien assembly. The humans had been a thorn in their side for decades, too aggressive, too unpredictable, too willing to fight when diplomacy failed. They had refused to acknowledge the Council's authority over disputed systems, continuing to establish colonies in sectors the Council had declared off-limits. Ambassador Sarah Chen sat motionless in the human delegation box, her weathered face betraying no emotion. At 73, she had witnessed humanity's first contact with the galactic community, had fought for their admission to the Council, and had spent 30 years trying to navigate the complex web of alien politics. Now she watched as that same community voted to crush her species. "The combined fleets will mobilize within 48 standard hours," continued Vexara. "Intelligence suggests human military capabilities are limited to approximately 200 vessels across 12 systems. Our assembled force of 3,000 ships should ensure swift—" "I formally request the right of final statement," Chen interrupted, her voice cutting through the chamber with surprising authority. A murmur of annoyance rippled through the assembly. Zaxthul's mandibles clicked dismissively. "The vote has concluded, human. Your species will have time to surrender before—" "Article 7 of the Galactic Charter," Chen said firmly, standing slowly. "Any species facing dissolution of diplomatic status retains the right of final statement. I believe genocide qualifies." High Chancellor Vexara's form shimmered with what might have been irritation, but the law was clear. "You have 3 minutes." Chen activated her personal translator and stepped to the center of the chamber. Around her, thousands of alien eyes, sensors, and optical organs focused on her small human frame. "Honored delegates," she began, her voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. "You vote today to destroy humanity because you believe we are dangerous." "You are correct." The chamber fell silent. "But you fundamentally misunderstand the nature of that danger. You see our fleets, count our ships, and assume military conquest. You observe our territorial expansion and mistake it for greed. You witness our refusal to bow to authority and call it arrogance." She paused, her gray eyes sweeping across the assembly. "You are about to discover what humanity truly is." Chen reached into her diplomatic pouch and withdrew a small device, a standard human communicator. Every security sensor in the chamber immediately focused on it, but it registered as harmless. "Computer, open channel to Admiral Rodriguez, Pacific Fleet." The device crackled to life. "Admiral Rodriguez here, Ambassador. I've been monitoring the proceedings." "Miguel?" Chen said softly, using his first name deliberately. "Execute Protocol 7. Ma'am?" "Are you certain?" "There's no going back from this. I'm certain. It's time they understood." "Understood, Ambassador. Protocol 7 is now active. Rodriguez out." Chen looked up at the confused faces surrounding her. "Honored delegates, you voted to invade human space with 3,000 ships. You assumed we possessed 200. You were incorrect." She tapped the communicator again. "Computer, display current human fleet positions. Authorization Chen 77 Alpha." The central hologram flickered and changed. Instead of the 12 human systems the Council had identified, the display now showed 63 star systems with human presence. Instead of 200 ships, the tactical readout showed 2,147 vessels of various classes. The chamber erupted in shocked voices and electronic whistles. "You see," Chen continued over the chaos, "we learned something important during our first century of contact with galactic civilization. We learned that survival requires more than strength. It requires the appearance of manageable weakness." Representative Zaxthul rose from his seat, his voice a harsh rasp. "Deception. This violates every treaty." "Which treaties?" Chen asked mildly. "The ones where you demanded we register only our primary fleet elements? The ones where you insisted we report only our core systems? We followed your rules exactly, Honorable Representative. You simply never asked the right questions." High Chancellor Vexara's crystalline form had shifted to a deep red, a color human intelligence files identified as extreme agitation. This changes nothing. Even at equal numbers, the combined might of the galaxy will face humans at war, Chen finished. And that, Chancellor, is something none of you have ever experienced. She activated her communicator once more. Computer, display historical analysis, human warfare patterns compiled by Hegemony Intelligence Service. New data cascaded across the display. Casualty ratios from every human conflict in galactic space, resource allocation during crisis periods, population mobilization statistics. The numbers painted a picture that made several delegates physically recoil. Humans don't just fight, Chen explained. We transform. Every civilian becomes a potential soldier. Every colony becomes a fortress. Every ship becomes a weapon. We've been preparing for this moment since the day we met you. The chamber had fallen completely silent. You voted to invade human space because you thought we were dangerous expansionists, she continued. You were half right. We are dangerous, but we're not expansionists, we're survivors. Every colony you see on that map, every ship in our hidden fleets, every alliance we've quietly built with minor species you ignore, all of it exists because we learned the most important lesson in galactic politics. She looked directly at High Chancellor Vexara. The only way to ensure peace is to make war too costly to consider. Chen gathered her materials and stepped back toward the human delegation box. The vote to invade has passed. Admiral Rodriguez is already positioning our fleets. I estimate you have approximately 14 hours before the first hegemony ships encounter our welcoming committee. She paused at the exit. I do hope you'll reconsider this course of action. Humans prefer diplomacy to warfare, but as you're about to discover, we're remarkably good at both. The door sealed behind her with a soft hiss, leaving 3,000 delegates to contemplate the true meaning of human preparation. In the void between stars, Admiral Miguel Rodriguez smiled grimly as his sensors detected the first movement of alien fleets. Humanity had spent decades appearing weak while growing strong. Now it was time to remind the galaxy why apex predators rarely advertise their capabilities. The vote to invade had indeed passed. The aliens were about to discover they had voted for their own destruction,